Hi guys, I'm here to review my Bloody Valentine 2009 in 3D.
Exactly what did you see?
Something was following us.
This is the 2009 remake to the 1981 slasher. Of course, my Bloody Valentine, it had to be a remake because early 2000s to late 2000s, Hollywood decided that it's cool to make horror remakes out of original classics. Some were good, some were bad, obviously. But this one, in my opinion, is one of the better remakes. I mean, there's really nothing different that they changed, but I mean, at least they executed it well and respectfully, in my opinion. But I'll get to that. So the plot for this movie revolves a character named Tom, which is played by Jensen Ackles, and Jensen Ackles played Dean Winchester in the Supernatural TV series. It's on Netflix. Check it out, guys. But him and his girlfriend and a bunch of other friends, they decide to have a party in the old mining, like the underground mine in the town of Harmony. But of course, a serial killer named Harry Wharton comes back from a coma and decides to go there one night to kill off these teenagers, pretty much to crash the party. And of course, the cops get there on time. One of the cops is played by Tom Atkins. He was in numerous 80s horror movies like Night of the Creeps, Halloween 3, Season the Witch, Creep Show. He was in all these 80s horror films, classics pretty much. But Tom Atkins is there. He shoots Warden. Warden escapes, and then, of course, Tom is left traumatized to see people dying and be attacked. And, of course, him and his girlfriend and a bunch of other friends, or the main characters, survive that event. And that was just one opening scene. And after that, it cuts back to 10 years later after that.
In the town of Harmony, something unexplainable
Hello?
is happening.
Come here, you better check this out!
What is it?
10 years later, Tom returns to the town, of course. He then sees all the people that were there that night, and most of the people are not too happy to see him. As he's in the town again, the killings starts to happen again, and everybody's thinking that, is Harry Warden back? Like, is he alive? Because apparently, they never showed it, but apparently they did catch him, and he was shot dead, and then they had to bury him. But they're thinking that he's returned from the grave to kill people once again. And they're probably thinking that Harry Warden probably survived. But it's either that, but we all know that's not the case, because the original movie did a twist, so this movie does a twist in the end too as well. But I'm not going to say how and what's the twist, pretty much. Anyways, that's pretty much the plot in a nutshell. Did I enjoy this movie? Yes. It was actually a pretty decent and entertaining remake, especially for an 80s film, an 80s slasher, I should say. This is a pretty decent remake. Of course, it has some dull moments. Of course, it has some cheesy moments. But overall, I mean, it's really fun to watch, like on Valentine's Day, of course. This film's directed by Patrick Lussier. Sorry if I can't pronounce the name. The name will be right here. He directed pretty much all these other films, like early 2000s films, such as Dracula 2000. Even though to some people, a lot of people didn't like this remake, me personally, I enjoyed the hell out of this remake. This movie was really good when it came out in this time. Of course, I had the 3D option, like where you can watch it in theaters in 3D, of course. You had a huge cast for this film. And not only just that, this was one of Lionsgate's pretty much biggest horror feature. And this is right up top with the Saw films, because Lionsgate, they love to crank up every Saw sequels every year. So this movie came out in 2009, and I think this movie came out right when Saw 6 came out, or at least around there. So it was back to back. But I remember every October, Saw would be another new Saw movie would be released. So this Lionsgate was pumping up some horror films pretty much with the Saw movies.
What do you want?
The most frightening 3D motion picture event to tear through the screen.
I enjoy this movie. It's awesome to see Jensen Ackles. I love the show Supernatural. Like I said, highly recommend that show. Harry Wharton, the infamous gas miner serial killer with the pitchfork, pitch axe. He's really iconic. One of the best slashers, pretty much one of the best 80s slasher antagonists or villains of all time. And yeah, this remake is really good. The special effects in this movie, it's pretty well done. But there are some kills or some death scenes that are quite a little cheesy because they do use CGI blood. But I think they just did that for the 3D effect. But overall, some of the kills are quite brutal. And it's just, this movie is just interesting from start to finish. I would rate this movie a solid 7 out of 10. Yes, this movie's not perfect. It's not bad. It's not overall, like I said, it's just not a bad remake. That's all I gotta say. I enjoyed this remake, so you guys can fight me all you want. So 7 out of 10, and that was my quick review of my Bloody Valentine 3D. Leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
My Bloody Valentine 3D. Nothing says date movie like a 3D ride to hell.